Hi guys, welcome to another Confessions of Room 3428. It's Addie. First off, I wanted to say that I'm jealous of Lisa and Lizzie that you got to see each other, but I'm glad you guys did. That's nice for you. MJ wanted us to confess something. And I guess everyone's confessions were kind of lame. Sorry. Mine's probably just as lame, but I think it's kind of funny, so I thought about this for a while. I used to work with this girl when I was an RA, and she let me borrow her bathing suit when we were on one of our retreats because I had forgotten to bring my bathing suit. So beforehand, I had run it through the washer and dryer because I wanted to wash it first. I wasn't a big fan of hers, and I wasn't sure if she washed it or not. So I threw it in the washer and dryer, and then, we swam, and I wore the bathing suit. And then afterwards, I put it in the washer again. And she called me, and she was like, hey, I was wondering if you had my bathing suit, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's in the washer right now. And she goes, oh, you didn't put it in the dryer, did you? And I went, no, of course not. Why? And she said, oh, well, when you put it in the dryer, it shrinks because of the material. And I don't want it to shrink. And I was like, oh my god, no, I would never put it in the dryer. And I had already put it in the dryer once at this point. I didn't like her, so after I hung up the phone, instead of taking it out of the washer, I let it go through the washer, and then I put it in the dryer again. And I didn't tell anybody. It was in the dryer twice. The bitch probably thought she gained 10 pounds, so. Whoops. Lisa, 4-minute vlog challenge. Got it. That's gonna be hard, because I've tried to do that in the past, and it's hard. It's really, really hard. Andy, I'm really excited that you challenged us to read books. I don't know, do we have a time limit? Does this have to be for next week? I don't... Here's the thing. Here are all the books that I'm reading right now. This is for class. I've probably showed this to you guys before. This is probably the worst book I've ever read in my life, next to Breaking Dawn. It's like Anglo-Saxons and Vikings and stuff. Gave it a new world, like set it in a new world with 2 moons, and he called it fiction. He cheated. Also reading this. I've read parts of this before for another class. I was just saying in class that I don't like it, and this is the reason why. I feel like Harriet Jacobs writes this book for white people, and she does. That's exactly what it is. Not that, like, no slaves could read, almost. So, she learned to read and write and everything, able to do that, but at the same time, I feel like she writes it in order to please white people and not how she really feels, and it pisses me off. I wish she'd just tell me how she really felt, but I know she couldn't back then. So that's why it angers me. I don't like her writing style because she's saying, oh, woe is me, poor black slave girl. You white people, you're so lucky. I've been taken care of so much by you white people, and you've really shown me a good home, and blah, 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 blah. But in reality, she was a fucking slave. She wasn't treated well. I mean, as far as slaves go, she was treated pretty well. But she was a slave, period. And it pisses me off that she doesn't just come out and say it, how she really feels. I would like to know how she really felt, and she doesn't say it in the book, and it makes me sad. And I wish she had the capacity of telling us how she really felt. She didn't. So I hate that book, but I like this one. This is for my creative writing class. It's called Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott. It's actually really funny. It's for creative writing, and she just goes into basically how you would go about writing, basically. I'll read you a little bit of something I like. I feel like I'm on only one take. Okay. Now, practically even better news than that of the short assignments is the idea of shitty first drafts. All good writers write them. This is how they end up with good second drafts and terrific third drafts. People tend to look at successful writers who are getting their books published and maybe even doing well financially, and think that they sit down at their desks every morning feeling like $1 million, feeling great about who they are and how much talent they have and what a great story they have to tell. That they take a few deep breaths, push back their sleeves, roll their necks a few times to get the cricks out and dive in, typing fully formed passages as fast as a court reporter. But this is just the fantasy of the uninitiated. I know some very great writers you love who write beautifully and have made a great deal of money, and not one of them sits down routinely feeling wildly enthusiastic and confident. Not one of them writes elegant first drafts. All right, one of them does, but we don't like her very much. We do not think she has a rich inner life, or that God likes her, or can even stand her. Very few writers know what they are doing until they've done it. Nor do they go about their business feeling dewy and thrilled. They do not type a few stiff warm-up sentences, then find themselves bounding along like huskies across the snow. One writer I know tells me that he sits down every morning and says to himself nicely, "It's not like you don't have a choice, because you do. You can either type or kill yourself." So I just like her biting humor, and it does really have really good, it writes like a novel almost, but there's actually good advice in here. So I have to read that for my creative writing class, and I recommend that you all read it as well. So that being said, I'm reading a lot of books right now. And I don't know if I'm going to get to any of yours, Andy. I don't know. I'll try. So, I wanted to pose a question. I don't really have a question. Why don't we Google a good question? Great conversation for nerds. Wait, I got it. So I want you to show me the best thing that you have ever made. If that's a craft project you ever done, or something you've written, or something you've drawn, something along those lines. Lisa, you can't say your books because we already know about them, and you can't say your children because we know how they were made. There's football on Saturday, our first game at WVU of the year, first home game, so I'm really excited. Football season is here, and I am excited. Also, with the meetups, there have been, Lisa wants now to go to Vegas, BK and the rest of the Boston crew want me to come to Boston for Columbus Day or something like that. There was talks of going to New York City for like New Year's, or Ohio for New Year's or something like that. I don't know, guys. I might be able to swing one trip before LeakyCon, maybe. And I want to see, maybe if we all just pick one that would be good for us. I don't know, guys. I'm broke. Help me out. For realsies now, I'm gonna go. I love you guys. I miss you. I wish you were here. And I will drink a beer for you. I will. I promise. I will.